Hey there, I'm meteorologist Ryan Shopto with another tropical update. It is Wednesday, September 21st, 2022. Halfway through the work week, and we're talking about the tropics. Very busy in the Atlantic Ocean right now. We have Hurricane Fiona, which at the time of this video is a Category 4 hurricane. Winds are at 130 miles per hour around the eye wall. Tropical storm Gaston and also Invest 98L, which all eyes are on right now for the potential at strengthening in the Caribbean Sea by next week. So overall, here's the tropical outlook. We have a couple of tropical waves off the coast of Africa. Right now, low to medium chances at development for those particular waves. Two named storms out there. We have Hurricane Fiona, Category 4 hurricane, and Tropical Storm Gaston, and then also Invest 98L. What is Invest? Invest is short for investigative area, and you'll see where it's moving towards the Caribbean Sea and towards Puerto Rico and also near Cuba by the back half of next week. In the meantime, two named storms. We have Hurricane Fiona, Category 4. Winds are at 130 miles an hour, moving north at 8, and a lot of thunderstorm action around the center. This is a typical and classic looking system as it barrels farther north towards Bermuda by this weekend. Also, northeast, you find Tropical Storm Gaston. Right now, winds are at 65 miles an hour as of that last update, and it's a fast-moving storm. And what's happening right now with Gaston? Winds are aloft, 20 to 30,000 feet in the air, are moving fast, which is why a lot of the moisture associated with Gaston is well away from its center. The center of circulation is right here, and barely any thunderstorms, and all the moisture associated with it is moving well to the east and northeast because of the upper level winds that are transporting it away from the center. So more importantly, let's talk about Hurricane Fiona. You can see the eye right there on infrared imagery. Now on infrared, you're looking at the cool cloud tops aloft. So basically with these pink shades, what you're seeing is very strong, intense thunderstorms that are reaching 40 to 50,000 feet in the air. The taller they are in height, the colder the cloud top temperature, the more intense the thunderstorm. And you can see how intense it is with that eye spinning counterclockwise. A lot of convection on the outer bands of Fiona. And here are the current stats. Winds are at 130, moving north at 8. Central pressure down to 937 millibars. And it is a low-end Category 4, but still considered major as it moves away from Cuba, as it moves away from Florida, and as it moves away from the Bahamas. This is heading towards Bermuda, and you can see on visible imagery, very impressive in regarding the structure. So here's the latest forecast cone through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It just passes to the west of Bermuda, but keep in mind, on the eastern side of these storms, we call it the dirty side because of how much warm water and storm surge happens from south to north. These storms spin counterclockwise. So what that's going to do for Bermuda is transport a lot of the ocean water towards Bermuda, and then you add in fresh water, rainfall, and all the water moving onshore. It's a bad combination, even being just to the west of Bermuda. So they're experiencing and preparing for hurricanes. Matter of fact, they're underneath hurricane warnings already as it prepares to move farther north-northeast later on this week. And then it should weaken into a remnant low near Nova Scotia and then eastern portions of the United States and eastern portions of Canada. Back to the tropical weather outlook. Fiona, Gaston, and then Invest 98L has a high chance at developing. Why is that? Well, wind shear, not going to be much of a factor as it moves into the Caribbean Sea. In addition to that, look how warm and hot the water is. Remember, tropical storms and hurricanes, they need warm water to survive and thrive and strengthen. And when they enter an environment that has so much heat at the surface in the water, it's likely going to intensify, but how much and how far will it go? And you'll see with these contours, these are sea surface temperatures indicating 85 to 90 degree water at the surface. Now beyond that, below that I should say, is the ocean heat potential 30 meters down. It's just that hot, 80 to 85 to 90 degrees at 30 meters down. So this is a very favorable environment for any tropical system to move into. And if it were into that, it would strengthen likely near Cuba and near the Bay of Campeche and near also southern Mexico. So what's going to steer this thing? We have a ridge of high pressure out east. It should back off east later on next week. The ridge of high pressure over Texas will back off as well. What's going to influence the track of this thing, Invest 98L, which, by the way, if it does strengthen in the next coming days, it'll be named Tropical Storm Hermine. And as it nears Cuba, a couple of different scenarios. One, it could go farther north into, let's say, Mississippi, maybe near Alabama and Louisiana. But the more likely track, based on forecast guidance as of this video, is heading towards Florida, either the west coast of Florida or near Tampa Bay, near southern portions of the Keys and near Miami. But again, the strength of two things, a ridge of high pressure out east and the strength of this jet, a trough that dips down farther south, will influence its exact track in the next coming days. Here's a forecast model. These are the spaghetti plots showing you kind of an ideal scenario, or at least the potential track of these storms. By Thursday night into Friday and Saturday, the ridge backs off to the west. A trough develops out into the Great Lakes, and what that's going to do is act as a vacuum and pull it farther north into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. So I do think, by and large, the eastern Gulf needs to be on standby for this system, because what's going to happen is a ridge of high pressure moves back in from the west, should block that from Texas. However, anywhere from Louisiana to Florida to the East Coast should be on high alert right now. By next Thursday and next Friday, this system is going to approach the Gulf Coast as it nears Miami and Florida in the next 10 days. Also, here are the model guidance. So here's Fiona. The models say it's going to lift farther north towards Bermuda. In the meantime, this weekend it's quiet, but as Invest 98L approaches Jamaica and near Cuba and also southern portions of Mexico, the GFS, the American model, says this: it's going to strengthen pretty quickly as it taps into the warm water of the Caribbean. But the Euro, a little skeptical on the exact timing, but as it nears Jamaica and south of Cuba, a little slow to intensify, but regardless, still become a strong storm as it moves into the southern Gulf of Mexico and near Florida. Again, 10 days out. But keep in mind, 10 days out, that's very low accuracy. 1 to 2 weeks out on these forecast models, a lot can change. So again, take it with a grain of salt, but also September accounts for a huge percentage of all tropical storms and hurricanes in the Atlantic Basin. It is the busiest time of year as hurricane season wraps up on November 30th later on this year. And then if it were named, Tropical Storm Hermine is up next up to bat. We have Ian, Julia, Carl, Lisa, Martin, Nicole, and then wrapping up with Walter. If you have any questions, let me know on social media. Meteorologist Ryan Shoptaw on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.